This morning, more communities benefit from Anambra State Community and Social Development Agency and World Bank intervention. Fathers urged to fully assume their responsibilities as the head of their families. Nigerian embassy in South Africa to lead protest against xenophobic attacks. 1 hour power blackout in South America as countries of Argentina and Uruguay trigger uncertain stays. Good morning and welcome to the news. My name is Nonye Nwokoye. As part of the Anambra State government efforts to ensuring effective and sustainable community development, the Anambra State Community and Social Development Agency, ANCSDA, has continued with the second phase of fund disbursement for the implementation of the community development projects. The exercise was carried out at Mbako in Oka North local government area, where 30% of the funds was released for the renovation of 4 classroom blocks, which is one of the micro projects chosen by the community themselves.
Handing the check of over 1 million naira, which represents the 30% of the agreed 90% of the total amount which the government, in collaboration with the World Bank, will provide. The General Manager, Anambra State Community and Social Development Agency, Mr. Chudi Mojeku, said that funding of the project will not be a problem, but warned against fund mismanagement and misappropriation. Mr. Mojeku, while commending the level of synergy and understanding between the committee and the town union leadership, advised that they should maintain such collaboration to ensure the projects are completed, adding that the fund for their second project, which is rehabilitation of 500-meter road with drain and culvert, will be released once the project is completed.
Well, this is the concluding part of the second part of our community project launch. Now they're commencing with the school building, which will cost them about 4.1 million, out of which we're providing 90%, that's approximately 3.7 million.
In a remark, the operation manager, ANCSDA, Mrs. Uche Nwaizubo, said that apart from building the capacity of the Community Project Management Committee and their subcommittee members on the implementation process, the agency, in partnership with relevant stakeholders, will ensure effective and participatory monitoring and supervision to ensure full implementation of the projects as stated in the Community Development Plan by the committee.
And the communities are implementing their projects, especially in the phase 1, they are doing wonderfully well. Some have completed, and some are yet to complete very soon.
Receiving the check, the Mbako Community Project Management Committee Chairman, Mr. Ejike Membono, expressed hope that Anambra State will be a better place if other public projects and contracts are being awarded in such a manner that the public will be involved in the process, assuring of effective implementation.
In nature, from the way they structure the project, there is no way one can tamper with a kobo out of that money. And I want to personally promise that the money given to us will be used specifically for that project.
On his part, the President General of Mbako, Chief Nweze Okafor, while appreciating the state government, said that the micro project will be completed since it's for the benefit of the community and the children who are learning under the dilapidated structure. The woman leader of the community, Mrs. Chinyere Nwodo, assured that the women will assist with provision of food and water for the laborers, which she said will boost their inputs. The exercise, which attracted major stakeholders in the community, including the community leadership, the women, and the community vigilante, among others, featured signing of the contract agreement between the agency and the committee. From Mbako, in Oka North local government area, Valentine Mbadowa reporting for ABS News.
Thank you so much, Valentine. Now, the member representing Orumba South constituency in Anambra State House of Assembly, Honorable Emma Nwafo, has led his constituents, friends and family to a Thanksgiving Mass at St. Mary's Catholic Church, Ezira, Orumba South local government area, and to bring forth to God the beginning of his journey in the legislative arm of the state government. The new lawmaker was inaugurated alongside others into the 7th Anambra State House of Assembly. Chibuzo Obidike is here with a report.
According to Honorable Nwafo, the Thanksgiving is to appreciate God for prayers answered for the constituents and for his stay at the State House of Assembly to be fruitful so as to achieve the promises made to his people and to tackle some of the immediate needs of the people. The lawmaker noted that there is need to introduce more developmental projects from the international community to increase the infrastructure in the state to attract more support for the present administration.
Our governor, is competent enough. I can connect him to the international world. They will bring money and development resources to carry out any type of project, provided the state will accept them. I knew very well, and a lot of people knew that God made it possible. And when we want to start a thing like this, we have to give God the glory and thanks.
Earlier in a homily, a visiting priest, Reverend Father Martins Okafor, said that as the day marks the Feast of Holy Trinity, and as such, the Thanksgiving marks the collaboration between the lawmaker and the constituents for a quality representation.
We are so happy that the Thanksgiving ceremony of the Honorable coincided with the Feast of the Holy Trinity. And the central message of the feast is collaboration. So that we urge him also to make a form of collaboration with representation in the government so that Anambra State will go forward, especially people from Anambra State.
For the traditional ruler of Ezira, Igwe Samuel Uche, President General of the community, Mr. Edison Ume, and an illustrious son of the community, Mr. Jude Umunakwe, the lawmaker is a passionate individual who has remained resolute in making changes in the area. Thus, the Thanksgiving is to commit him to God for protection and guidance throughout his stay at the House of Assembly.
In the sense that I'm a video or the people but at the time, the Chineke na aro area. Onye ọbụla na-agba mbọ oke o nwere ike emegide Chineke zade ekpere ọ bụrụ ihe a na-eme tata na adị celebrate ọ bịara tata ka ha bido ọrụ bịa ekpere ka ekpere ka enwe bido dị ọrụ ọhịa iji wee nọ here.
He's somebody that want to make things work. When he came out for this, I swore that I want him to be there because he's somebody that will come into the system and make impact and make change. He's a civil engineer by profession. He has worked in Nigeria, he has worked in Japan.
The Thanksgiving service had in attendance dignitaries from within and outside the state, including the state chairman of ABGA, Sanobat Obi, transition committee chairman of the local government, Barrister Ray Onyegu, among other ABGA faithfuls. From Ezira, in Orumba South local government area, Chibuzo Bidike, ABS News.
Special Sunday services were held yesterday in the Anglican Communion, as well as Christ Holy Church International, to mark this year's Father's Day. Father's Day is a celebration honoring fathers and celebrating fatherhood, paternal bonds, and the influence of fathers in the society. Emmanuel Chibata has a report.
The day, celebrated on every third Sunday in June, was equally used to present gifts, show love and concern, as well pray for fathers. In all the churches visited, fathers took the center stage, such as taking the Bible readings, serving as church wardens, and Sunday school teachings, among others. At St. Mary's Parish, Unkwele Oka, the vicar of the church, Reverend Canon Okechukwu Ekune, whose sermon centered on the theme of this year's Father's Sunday, which is, in understanding, be men, charged fathers not to relent in their efforts and toiling, just like men after God's own heart. The priest, who stressed that men should continue to labor in the vineyard of the Lord, used the opportunity to encourage wives and children to be submissive to their husbands and ensure that absolute unity reigns in their family.
As are the pillars of church, society, and nation. They are the head in the family, the prime mover in affairs of church, and nation.
Also, the priest in charge of Chapel of the Healing Cross, Chukwuemeka Odumegwu University Teaching Hospital, Amako, Oka, Reverend Nnedozie Chukwuogo, who noted that the ministry of fatherhood is a critical ministry, added that fathers play a pivotal role in the affairs of the society. Similarly, in a sermon at Christ Holy Church International, Oka number 1 and number 2, Senior Pastor Kajetan Onyaka and Senior Evangelist Peter Ima, whose messages centered at the heart of a champion, encouraged families to always pray for their fathers, advising the fathers to love their wives, who in return should respect them. They lamented the increase in divorce and promiscuity being witnessed in the society today, stating that God does not want such in the life of every Christian.
Heart is the center of everything that happened in this life. You love through your heart. You do everything through your heart.
Some fathers who spoke to ABS, including the chairman, Christ Holy Church Men Fellowship Oka number 1, Mr. Amechi Nwafo, and Elder Emma Nzomiwu, noted that it is their duty as the head of the family to nurture and care for the family. Praises and prayers of thanksgiving featured in the churches. In Oka, Emmanuel Shibata, ABS News.
Congratulations to our fathers. Still on church activities. It was really a moment of thanksgiving and celebration of God's faithfulness at the church service to remark the end of the second session of the fourth synod of the Diocese of Amici, as the faithful appreciated God in praises and thanksgiving for a successful synod held at the Cathedral Church of St. Andrew, Amici, Nnewi South. The service, presided over by the Bishop of the Diocese, Right Reverend Ephraim Ikako, was attended by the rank and file of the society, including government functionaries, bishops, clergymen, and industrialists. Njideka Okoye has a report.
Addressing the gathering, Governor Willie Obiano expressed satisfaction at the level of development at the diocese. Governor Obiano, represented by his principal secretary, Sir Willie Nwokoye, noted that the state government's partnership with the church is yielding positive results and called on the church to continue its prayers for the government.
Hardly those needs for church. Any church, Catholic, Anglican, Pentecostal, or the other at all. So when I didn't see him, I knew that something was not very good.
Responding, Bishop Ikako thanked Governor Obiano for supporting the work of God and for asphalting the premises of their diocesan hospital and School of Nursing, as well as his developmental strides in the state. Speaking on the theme of the synod, Bishop Ikako called for cordial relationship between the laity and the clergy for holistic evangelism and growth of the church.
Laity, as I said in my address, are the drivers and the growers of the church. They should take up the challenge the Lord has given to them. From the Old Testament to the New Testament, God has always relied on the lay people to carry on any assignment He wants them to carry on.
Earlier in a sermon, a guest preacher and former Minister of Power, Venerable Chinedu Nebo, who noted that both the laity and the clergy are one body in Christ, called on the laity to use their diverse gifts for the benefit of the church.
Any person who says, I am a layman or a laywoman and I cannot serve God, you don't misroad. Because God has already called you.
Speaking, the vicar of the host church and the diocesan media director, Venerable Chukwuemeka Chukwuebuka, and the chaplain, Council of Laity of the diocese, Reverend Canon Festus Ewenike, said the ministry of the church belongs to the laity, as the church is basically a lay movement, noting that the laity has so many gifts that when put into effective use will result to church growth. The Transition Committee Chairman, Nnewi South Local Government Area, Mr. Chinedu Okoye, a resident of the area, Dr. Harry Oranezi, and Sir Samsi Okafo, noted that Bishop Ikako has been a blessing to the Church of God, Amici, and environ. Cutting of Synod K, special rendition by the choir, and Thanksgiving also featured at the service. From the Cathedral Church of St. Andrew, Amici, Njideka Okoye, ABS News.
Thank you, Njideka. And if you're just joining us, this is ABS Television News. Up ahead, Nigerian Embassy in South Africa to lead protests against xenophobic attacks. 1-hour power blackout in South America's countries of Argentina and Uruguay trigger uncertainties. We take a very short break here to bring you some messages. The news returns after now. Join us again.
ABS, Heartbeats of the East.
You're welcome back to the news. Now going national. President Muhammadu Buhari has said he had approved the disbursement of 208 billion naira to federal universities for infrastructure. The president said the approval was done under the 2019 intervention of the Tertiary Education Trust Fund to address the deficiencies in all the segments of our educational system. Buhari said these are the 23rd convocation of the University of Abuja, where he was represented by the Permanent Secretary, Minister of Education, Mr. Sonny Echono. The president, who is the visitor to the school, said the university system must search for solutions to the nation's developmental needs. Buhari said that the ability of Nigeria, with its huge population, to overcome its present challenges of development no longer depend on petroleum resources, but on the ability of the country to develop its human capital. And the Consul General of the Nigerian Consulate in Johannesburg, Mr. Godwin Adama, says the mission is set to protest against killings and high-handedness of the South African police against Nigerians. The planned protest was necessitated by the continued killing of Nigerians residing in the former apartheid country, where 130 Nigerians were murdered in 30 months up to September 2018. The figure has since increased. Adama made the announcement while reacting to the latest killing of a Nigerian, Maxwell Okoye, by the South African police. He revealed the plan in a telephone interview with the news agency of Nigeria in Abuja while reacting to Okoye's death, which occurred in his home in Ladysmith, KwaZulu-Natal province. The envoy, who described the persistent killing of Nigerians as unacceptable, said the issue had become worrisome and deserved urgent intervention of the South African authorities. Adama said that by the time members of the Nigerian community in the area got to Okoye's home, his house was turned upside down and he was reported dead by the police, who took his body to the mortuary. The envoy said that the matter was reported by Nigerians to the South African police, who promised to commence investigations into the matter. Now, the nation's crude oil reserves dropped by 481 million barrels to 36.972 billion barrels in 2018, according to a new report by the Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries. OPEC, in its 2019 annual statistical bulletin, said Nigeria's crude oil reserves stood at 37.453 billion barrels in 2017 and 2016, 37.062 billion barrels in 2015, and 37.448 billion barrels in 2014. According to the report, the number of active oil rigs in the country rose to 32 last year from 13 in 2017 and 9 in 2016. Following the steep fall in global oil prices in 2014, the nation's rig count dropped from 46 to 29, the OPEC data showed. Rig count is largely a reflection of the level of exploration, development and production activities occurring in the oil and gas sector. The slump in oil prices, which started in mid-June 2014, forced many companies operating in the Nigerian oil industry to slash their capital budgets and suspend some projects, resulting in a drop in the number of rigs. And from the foreign, in a massive failure in the electrical interconnection system left Argentina and Uruguay without power according to reports by local media. Infobay, an Argentinian website, reported yesterday that the country was in the dark for more than an hour and all trains were suspended. Uruguay's UTE Power Company said in a fault in the Argentina's network affected the interconnected system, leaving the entire national territory without service, as well as several provinces of the neighbor country. It said the system went down at 7:06 a.m. Social media reports on the blackout were widespread. On sports news, Paul Pogba has given a strong indication that he wants to leave Manchester United this summer to seek a new challenge. The French World Cup winner rejoined United from Juventus for a then world record £89 million fee 3 years ago, but has largely failed to live up to expectations. Pogba has been strongly linked with a move to Real Madrid or even a return to Juventus, with United having failed to qualify for the Champions League next season. Despite scoring 16 goals this season, half of which came from the penalty spot, Pogba was often criticized for his contribution under both Jose Mourinho and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, as United limped to a 6th-place finish in the Premier League. Should Pogba move on, United are likely to seek a higher fee than they spent on the 26-year-old in 2016. And now remember that you can follow news and programs on ABS from any part of the world by liking our Facebook page at ABS Radio Television. Subscribe to our YouTube at youtube.com/ABS Radio TV online, on Twitter at ABS Radio TV, and on Instagram at ABS Radio TV. You can also log on to our website at www.absradiotv.com. And the main news again. More communities have benefited from Anambra State Community and Social Development Agency and World Bank intervention. Fathers have been urged to fully assume their responsibilities as the head of their families. Nigerian embassy in South Africa is to lead protest against xenophobic attacks. And on 1-hour power blackout in South America's countries of Argentina and Uruguay has triggered uncertainties. And that's just about it on the news for this morning. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Nonye Mokoye. Good morning.